seedlings. Hello, dear viewers. Welcome back. So what I'm doing today is, well, today and the last couple of days, is doing my spring maintenance for my winter sowing containers out here. So as you've seen, I have these in these large yogurt containers that have clear lids. That doesn't give the seeds and seedlings very much headspace. So you get like an inch or like a half an inch sometimes. And that means that it will get pretty hot in those containers when it's sunny out. It doesn't even have to be very warm. If it's a 60-degree day and the sun is out, it can get up to 90 or more at soil temperature. So I like to give them a little bit more headroom once we're past snowy weather. And I use these Ziploc bags. I've tried a couple of ways of doing it over the past couple of years, and I think this way might be my favorite. So they're in these containers. I'm gonna lift you one. Okay, with their clear lid for most of the winter, and that does great until it starts to get hot outside or until it starts to get sunny, and then I want them to have more headroom in a classic milk jug type situation. They have a lot of headroom. As you can see here, the soil level is way down here and they have all of this headroom. So if it gets hot in the container, a lot of that hot air can rise up a little higher into the container and not cook the seeds and the seedlings. I do not want cooked seedlings. Nobody wants cooked seedlings. So what I do is take the lids off. It's still fairly chilly at night, so having a little bit of protection is good, and also the wind in the spring will really dry the containers out. So having them in something to help keep the moisture in is really helpful, but with enough of an opening to get water from rain in there and enough head height so that it's not so super hot inside. Now these are in afternoon shade, so morning sun comes this way, and then about 1 o'clock or so they're in full shade up to here. Even so, before 1 o'clock it can get pretty warm inside. So you can see I have a mix of plastic bags, ones that I've done and ones that I haven't done yet. That's because these Ziploc bags wear out over time. Either the zipper area will give way or the bag will just start to like fall apart. So the ones that don't have bags, those numbered bags disintegrated last year for some reason. I need to source bags for these. I need to make new ones. But you can see here, if I get you down, here's the soil level. Now you've got all of this height. Not only for seedlings to grow up a little taller, but also to let hot air rise and stay away from the soil level where the seeds and the seedlings are. Most of these seedlings, let me see if I can find you some seedlings. As you've seen, most of these seedlings are really small. Those are the biggest seedlings that I have, that yarrow. And you can see they're still really little. So they don't need the head height so much yet. The other benefit to having these Ziploc bags is I can open them and close them as I like without having to take a lid off or without having to deal with tape on a milk carton, on a milk jug. So these open and close pretty easily. I can unzip it more to make a bigger hole if the day is going to be hot, or if we're getting rain or whatever, and then I can close it back up if I need to, and that happens pretty easily, all things considered. But I don't actually have to do that very much until the seedlings themselves start to grow. And then when it does get warm enough, and I've got enough germinating, I open all of the Ziploc bags. I leave the Ziploc bags there. They do still help retain moisture, but they're just all open at the top so they can get lots of rain, lots of air exchange, all that good stuff. The other thing that I like to do at this time of year, right at the beginning of spring, is take stock of which ones have germinated. And I do start checking on this probably once a week. I don't worry so much about doing it every day at this time of year, but I like to just take a little look to see, there we go, if anything is germinating yet. Is anything germinated? See? Most things won't be germinated. We're still getting down to freezing or more overnight now. Give you this one. But it's good just to have an idea. These that are just in, I ran out of containers, so I just used the straight plastic bag, Ziploc bag, and I did do their closure slightly different. These do get a little bit more sun too, so I wanted to make sure I had a bit of a bigger opening, and they don't stand up as well without the container. So I did clothespin them to each other, which ultimately is what I'll do on the ones in the containers once I open them up all the way. Clothespin the Ziploc bags to each other to help hold them open. Any seedlings in there? Yep. So you can see with the tape that opening and closing this jug would be a little harder than opening and closing that Ziploc bag. The other thing to be aware of once spring hits is that you have to really stay on top of whether or not they have enough moisture. They should retain pretty good moisture because they're in these sort of mostly closed containers, even the ones in the Ziploc bags, but you do have to check. One way to check is that, does it have condensation? That's a pretty good that's a pretty good idea. But the more foolproof way to check is how heavy is it? Can you feel the weight of water inside that container? Because sometimes you can see moisture here, but there's really not enough water in it. So giving them a bit of a lift check is always a great way to assess whether they have enough water. Once it starts getting warmer and more sunny, into the high 50s, 60 degrees during the daytime, you do want to start checking them a little bit more often to make sure that they are well watered and they're not getting too hot. All right, I have these bags left over, and I think I should be able to use these on the ones that I don't have bags for on the other table. So if I have like 18, I'll just, ignore the fact that that's 118, and I'll know the difference, because the containers only go up to 113 over here. This is 113. So anything higher than that, I'll remember is just not the one, like that'll be 18. So let's go do that. All right, I need 22, 23, 21, and 22.